Hello and welcome to the Corona Yoga Challenge. Today is day 155. There we go, 155. Make sure that you check my website so that you are adapting as you need to. Do subscribe if you'd like to get updates so that you know when these arrive. We are going to start by coming onto our back. So if you want to bring yourself to lying down comfortably, so you're going to have your body rested down, head settled onto the ground, hips wide and hands just relaxed onto the floor. And just as you're here, just soften back into the back of the body. So soften into the shoulders, soften into the back of the pelvis. Let the body rest. And then you're going to take your knees up and over your chest. You're going to cuddle them close in towards you and you're going to rock gently from one side to the other side. So it's a nice, smooth, even rocking movement over the lower back. So we're just settling ourselves before we come up and into bridge pose. That's the plan. You're going to settle your feet down and onto the floor again. So take them just a little bit further away from you, so not right close in. You're going to take hands up and overhead, and the hands are going to be close in towards your head. Elbows are going to be soft and wide. And you're just going to make sure that you're comfortable here to start with. So from here, as you press down through the feet, you're going to lift up with the hips. And as you breathe out, you're going to sink down. So I'm aware this is bridge pose after a week of bridge pose, so I hope you're really happy with your bridge poses. So just go with your breath and start to allow your breath to settle and become a little bit easier and a little bit easier. So we get a little bit softer, a little bit quieter, even slightly lazier. And then through that, the word that we call lazy, for some people that just means that they just go all floppy and tired. But for many people, when you act like you're lazy, you'll just actually settle a bit and feel a little bit more like yourself. So that's ultimately what we're trying to do. So if you find moving in a way that you feel a little bit lazy, then just pep it up a little bit and get a little bit more active with it. This next time you're going to let your hips lift up, your shoulders are going to stay wide and down, you're going to spread down through the feet, so really get that connection down through the balls of the feet, down through the heels. So that as you get that connection down through the feet, that we start to get that feeling of lift and life coming up through the legs, and that's going to end up supporting the rest of you. And then from here, can you press into your feet a little bit more if you'd like to, not so that you're lifting your ribcage up, but so you're drawing the top of your chest closer towards your face. So you still want to be able to breathe easily and comfortably through, obviously, whilst you're here, so do adapt this if you need to. And then settle your hips all the way down and onto the ground, rest them down so that we get again that nice breathe out feeling through the back of the pelvis. And then if you walk your feet really close in towards you, and you're just going to let your knees just gently rock over to one side. So they might stay high or they might come onto the floor somewhere. Just let them move easily so it feels nice and relaxed. And then spread down through the pelvis, lift up through the knees as you rock your knees over and to the opposite side. So same thing, just allow the body to settle and widen into it. And take a lovely breath. And then if you bring your knees up to the centre, so down through the pelvis so the knees can float up to some extent. And then we're going to come up to standing now. So I'll suggest that you come onto your side and then walk yourself up from your side. But if you want to come up another way, you can. We're going to come up to standing. So do just bring yourself to a comfortable standing position for you to start with. So you're going to be standing with feet settled down on the ground, shoulders are relaxed down and away, and you're just standing in Tadasana, which is mountain pose, and try and get that feeling that there's a little bit of lift and light underneath the diaphragm area, and then the shoulders soften down, and usually the knees will want to soften slightly forwards, just a touch, so that we're not kind of locked and tight. So think about that soft and steady quality of the mountain. We're going to come up into tree pose from here. So we're going to take a heel in towards the top of your thigh. If you do not want to take your heel this high, then do settle it onto your ankle joint so that it feels comfortable and settled there. You can still work with the movement of the knee and that aliveness through the supporting leg. So all that is still there. So either the heel is coming onto your ankle, or you're going to settle it right the way up and in towards the top of your thigh. You're going to get that feeling of aliveness down through the supporting leg, and that down movement through the supporting leg also gives you a feeling of lifting up through the leg. And then there's that, again, lightness underneath the diaphragm, soft down through the shoulders, and then just let your hands come out but close in towards you to start with. You're going to let your hands come up and overhead, and the hands are just going to join in some way. So I've got open palms at the moment, just for a little bit of feeling of openness in the shoulders as well. And then you're going to stretch up with your hands, get a really nice wake up feeling, and then let your hands come out and down. And then you're going to release the leg that's folded in and come back to standing. And then we're going to come to the opposite side. So nice steady down through the supporting leg. Other leg is coming onto your heel or up to the front of the thigh. Hands are going to come wide and shoulders released down. From here, get the feeling of that little bit more life coming up through the supporting leg. Can you get that feeling of that rotating out and round through the thigh that brings the knee into happy and extended place, or the hip into kind of happy and widening out place. And then hands can come overhead. Again, let the palms face forward if it's comfortable for you, so the shoulders sink down. And we take an easy breath while we're here. So if you're really steady and grounded, but also that feeling of light and life within your body and beyond your body. And then stretch the hands all the way up towards the ceiling. Get really nice lengthening out feeling, and then let your hands come out and down. And from here, you're just going to release your foot down so they come down to both feet settled on the ground. See if we can soften back into your nice and steady mountain pose. And then we're going to come down to the floor now. So if you bring yourself to sitting, and you're going to have both legs out in front to start with. So you're going to have both legs out in front, and you're just going to fold them over to one side. So let's do it this way. So I think I better move further away as well. And move the screen. Here we go. We're going to get there, I promise. So from here, what you're going to do is the option is to take the top leg and fold it over and cross the other one. So this front foot, you can come to the other side of your knee if it's better for you. It can stay on your leg. It can cross over here. And then the next option is to take your arm round that leg, and you're going to ease yourself up and out, and you're going to slightly lean into the hand on the floor, just so you've got the feeling of being able to lift up through both sides of the waist to come up and out of it. But make sure that your hand that's on the floor is still light on the floor. We're not wanting to kind of come heavy and twist the spine in too many kind of different dimensions at one time. So we're looking for that spiralling round movement, but also coming from that space through the kind of what would be the more constricted side of your body. So just bring yourself round and into that open space. Take an easy breath. And then bring yourself back to the centre. Settle yourself down so you're taking hands over both legs and the shoulders are relaxing down. And then we're going to come over to the opposite side. So if you bring, again, feet to the opposite side, hand comes onto the floor, hand's going to come underneath the top leg, and you're either going to take your foot close to that knee or over the other side, depending on what feels good. So what we've got already, we've got a little bit of movement for the hips and for the hip joints, which is good. You're going to take your hand round through the knee, hands is lightly on the floor, so you can get that feeling of that little lift out. So you've got the space through the tummy, space through the diaphragm. And then from here, if you just bring yourself out and round and into the open space. Take a lovely even breath so your body feels relaxed and settled, and yet very, very active at the same time. Maybe not very, very active, but just active. And then bring yourself back into the centre. You're going to draw your chest up towards that knee so you get that little bit of lift. And then you're going to bring yourself to sitting in a way that's comfortable for you. So just however is going to be comfortable for you to do a little bit of breathing. So I think that what we will do today, pardon me, is I think we will just do a really nice easy in-breath and out-breath to start with. So breath in, breath out. At your pace, so go faster or slower. So try and get that just natural rhythm of breath in and breath out. So you're trying to tune in to what suits your body best right now and then go for a tiny little extension of that. This next time, as you breathe out, we're going to see if we want to break that out breath into bits. So as we breath out, we breathe, breathe, breathe. Breath in. Do cut more or less as you wish to. As you do that final breath out, you might get that little lift up and underneath the diaphragm. Last time. And let yourself just settle. So my challenge for you today comes from my personal project today. I have been staining the worktop. It's been a really big job with hours and hours and hours of standing. And I have stained it in a way that I am not entirely pleased with. I was going for just enhancing the grain of the wood. But what's actually happened is I've added I'm just not happy. There's brush texture, there's a little bit of roller texture coming in. It's not what I intended. So my challenge to you is the challenge that I am giving to myself, which is to do something very different to how you intended, and then to try and celebrate the result of whatever it is, whether it's something to do with your personal life, whether it's something you've cooked, whether it's a worktop that's not going to be done again. So somehow I am going to have to change my perception of what this worktop looks like into an acceptance and celebration of its new state. So I promise you, this challenge I'm going to be really working with. Who knows for how long as well, it could be years. And my quote for you today is from Krishnamurti. It's Krishnamurti's notebook. If you've come across Krishnamurti before, he can be quite kind of like moralistic, determined, and there's one way, I kind of feel that way sometimes when I read his stuff. But this is quite delightful. It's very, very different. It's much more meditative and calm and in a different sort of zone, and it's a sort of zone that suits me much better. And this is a little quote from him. No sky of that blue would ever be seen again. Oh, this isn't the bit I wanted. I wanted the next bit. My apologies. But that was a nice bit as well. He's talking about the blue sky. And the meadows were greener and richer than ever. But a little patch of limpid blue sky would never be seen again. In that little patch was the light of all heaven and all blue of all the skies. In that little patch was the light of all heaven and the blue of all the blue skies. So I like that because, and he talks a bit about meditation and the quality of being present in nature generally is what he's talking about here, and that being almost beyond meditation. And I really like that because sometimes when you look at something in nature, it can just be so profound and beautiful that it's entirely complete in itself. There's no need to meditate, do yoga, think thoughts, draw it, anything. It can just be So I hope you enjoy your day, and I look forward to doing a bit more yoga with you soon. I think tomorrow we are on, let me just double check, Santosha and contentment. I hope you have a lovely evening and day, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.